Hello there, it's Jay here from Jay's Vintage Junk, and I've got the Amstrad set back up again. I've been having to play about with this, and basically what I've done is I formatted the hard drive and put it back to as close as I could get it to how it would have been original. Now, if you remember, I've already backed the old the hard drive up, so I have got a copy of what it was actually like when I first got it and first got it working. And it had MS-DOS 6.2, I think, on it, and I think this has been used in like a college or something like that, judging by kind of the bits and bats that I found on the actual hard drive. And there was very little on the hard drive. I think this thing was basically just a network terminal. There was a few bits and bats about, student registration and I can't really go into it obviously because I don't want to divulge any private data, but there was nothing really interesting actually on that hard drive. So what I thought, I'll have a go at getting it back to as close to, like I said, as it would have been in 1989 as I can really. I'll fire it up and I'll show you what I've got. Now unfortunately what I couldn't do, mainly because I couldn't find them, is put the original Amstrad versions of the software on here. I did find a Amstrad version of the Windows 286 that this would have originally had on it. Unfortunately, there's something wrong with the disk images, and although you can actually create the disk images and they'll load on the computer and you can read through them, there's actually great big chunks missing. There's whole files missing from the entire setup. So I don't know whether it was when the person was originally trying to back them up and the discs were bad and it's missed pieces out or what have you. In the future I will have a go with that and with the full Microsoft version, which is what I've actually got on here, seeing if I can patch it together and actually get a version like the Amstrad version, because I think it has a bit of Amstrad branding and things like that on it. Same with the version of DOS 4.01 that this would have originally shipped with. I think it's got a few little bits in it which are kind of like Amstrad specific, but I cannot find that anywhere. I've looked all over the internet, I've looked all over all the archive sites, and I cannot find the Amstrad branded version of DOS 4.01 which this would have originally shipped with. So basically what I've got on here is about as close as I can currently get it, and it was a mare to do. I don't know if anyone can remember ever playing with MS-DOS version 4.01, but it's not good. It must have took me about three attempts to actually get it to work properly on the computer. The biggest issues I was having actually was with the high like memory addressing. It could see the 640k base memory no problem. When I tried using like the EMS drivers for the extended memory, I keep getting all kinds of problems and errors and having to reinstall it and start again, and eventually I managed to get it to work. I then went through the fun of trying to install Windows 286 on here, and again I hit all kinds of problems with the memory drivers. That, yeah, I could get Windows on here and I could get Windows to actually load up and work, but it would only see the base 640k of memory. It wouldn't see the 1.5, the, what is it, 1040k or whatever, 1400k of extended, there you go, 1340k of extended memory. For some reason it just would not work. Again, I messed about with that, I fiffed and faffed, and eventually I actually managed to figure out what was wrong. I think that involved another reinstall of MS-DOS 4.01, and I finally got it to work. So that's basically what we've got set up here now. If I do a DIR, there isn't very much I've got on here, to be honest. We've got a games directory, because I did throw a few games on it. We've got Windows, obviously we've got a mouse directory, because we do have the Amstrad mouse up and running. And I've actually put Word for Windows on it, so we've actually got some productivity software that would have... It's a little bit newer than the system, because I think Word for Windows didn't come out until about 90 or 91, around about then. And obviously the system, like I say, it's about 89, I think, the system. This one actually I think is from 1990, judging by the hard drive, if that is indeed the original hard drive, which I'm pretty sure it is. I think this is very slightly later, but it is still the same computer, you know. It's just they actually made these for a couple of years before they brought like the next iteration out. Anyway, what I think we'll do, I'll fire Windows up because it's interesting, just showing how quick Windows used to boot up when we was in these old systems compared with nowadays. Now, to be honest, personally, I don't use Windows anymore. All my modern systems run Linux. I haven't used Windows since Windows 7, but I've worked on other people's computers running like Windows 10 and what have you, and my god, is it slow compared with this. Just give you, let me type Windows and we'll get Windows loaded up on this computer. There we are, done. It's that quick. Now, to be honest, Windows version 2.11 or Windows 286, it's the same thing. I don't know why they give it two different names. And the interesting thing is, and I was always led to believe this wasn't true, but Windows 286 doesn't mean that it needs a 286 to run. It will actually run fine on an XT class computer. I was always led to believe that it wouldn't do, but apparently according to the documentation when I was installing it, yes it will. And Windows 2.11 or Windows 286 is actually the last version of Windows. You could actually set it up to run off floppy disks. So you could literally have your Windows on a series of diskettes like that and have twin drives and load it like that and use it like that. The other thing is kind of hilarious. But really, apart from the fact, like I said, there is a few pieces of software out there that were written specifically for it, like Word for Windows. It's kind of like a glorified DOS shell, really. It's very similar, the way you could use it as like Xtree Gold or something like that. It's not like Windows like you would expect it nowadays, or even like Windows 3.1, even Windows 3, where you add proper Windows and what have you on it, is modern compared with this. This is very, very, very basic, but it does work. In fact, let's word process like it was 1989, shall we? So we've got into the Word for Windows folder, and this is Word for Windows version 1.0. So this is the original Word for Windows. And with no icons or anything like this in Windows up to now, we literally have to find the exe and execute it. So I load it. Yeah, this is, it's a bit slightly later version. This is version 1.1a from 1991. But basically there we are. We've got Word for Windows. So it is exactly what it says on the tin, you know. You know, you can type on it basically. Yeah, I'm a crap typist, I know that. I used to be actually quite fast. I used to be reasonably proficient with typing, but see, I don't do that much of it anymore. You get lazy. But it works, and this is a full WYSIWYG word processor. We can select that. Let's go on there. Let's change that to, say, 100. There you go. You know, you can do everything you would expect to be able to do on a lot of modern word processors, really. We can underline it. Low memory. So obviously it wants a little bit more than 2 megs of RAM if you're going to be using this for anything serious. But yeah, it can do it, basically. You can do some rudimentary, you know, typesetting and setting your pages out and everything like that on here. I won't go into it fully, but it's fun to play with. I mean, you could do this on an emulator. You don't need the real hardware to do any of this. You know, get yourself DOSBox, and you can download. If you go to WinWorld, sorry, on the internet, it's easy enough to find. Just Google it. You will find basically all the old MS-DOS versions, you'll find all the old Windows versions, and even what's even better is you'll find some of the old productivity software and everything that you used to use on them. I've even found, you know, I've got all sorts basically that I've downloaded and transferred to disk just to play about with on this computer. You know, I've got a little bit of a selection here now. Things that might go on, you know, later on. I've got a version of there's Windows version 3 that I might try on here, which is, it's what I would say is the first proper Windows where you've actually got actual Windows and it's multitasking and everything works nicely. This is more literally just like a glorified version of like X-Tree Gold or something like that. Won't save that, we'll get out of that. But what that does mean, it does have some quite nice uses actually. We can go right back to the start there. And what we can do, we can use it for loading software up. So I've got a game on here I want to put on into my games folder on there. Obviously we all know how we can do it through DOS, but we can also do it using this. So if I select A drive now, I think this disk works. We've got some we've got some speed software on there as well. We might have a play with them. So what we need to do, let's copy allow, get hold of that, file, copy, 2, C colon / games. Okay. Taking its sweet time, but it should go. Right, let's see if that's gone where we want it to go on here. So we go to games. Oh, it's put them all in the damn. So let's go file. Let's create a directory. I'm still finding my way around this. And let's call that llama. Okay. And then let's select all what should have been in there. Do we use shift? I don't know. I think, yeah, we can select more than one thing. So we'll select all those. And let's copy, and let's try going right, C colon / GAMES LLAMA. Let's see if we can get all those to go into there. There we go. And now we've got all those already selected, so we've got to file, we can delete them. There we go. So we now should have llama there. Right, that should hopefully work. Right, let's go back to C. And let's create a new directory on there, and we can put them benchmark, that benchmark software in there. So we go to special, we'll create a directory, and we'll call it bench. Like that. Okay. So we've now got a directory on the C drive called bench. Let's go back to the A drive. We've got max speed and speed Is that 20? Let's try max speed. I'm pretty sure that's a let's see if we can load the readme. Oh. I'm pretty sure this is a benchmarking software. Let's see if we can run it from here. Okay. Yeah, it seems to work. Let's get out of this. Right, how do we get back? I mean, as is the way when I think we'll have to restart the computer. Never mind. I've got myself in a pickle before messing about with stuff like that. But I've got some stuff on this other disc here. I've got 3D Bench and some games on here. We'll give that a try. 3D Bench might be fun to see if that'll run. That should run quite slow on this. Let's try that. This might be no use. Some of these discs I've made recently, some of these discs I've actually had about for years and years, and I think some of them are starting to get a bit tired now. That doesn't seem to want to load anymore. The disc itself looks okay. Oh no, there's a great big scrape on the back of it there, I can see. Yeah, that's no good. That's another one for the bin. I really do need to see if I can find some decent discs actually, because a lot of my discs are starting to fail now. I do go through them every now and again and jettison any of them which are no good, but it is getting to that part. So let's delete Bench. In fact, we can just remove directory because we're not putting anything in it. So RD. There we go. It's also trying to remember, because this is MS-DOS version 4.01, it doesn't have all the commands and all the features of some of the later DOSes. Like, you don't have editing here, you don't have, you know, like Microsoft Diagnostics or anything like that. It's pretty well cut down. You have the useful stuff, the stuff you actually need, like format, fdisk, things like that, but you don't, like I say, you don't have all the fancy things that you had in like MS-DOS 5 and MS-DOS 6. And the way that the memory management works on this is, shall we say, a little bit flaky compared with some of the later iterations of DOS. Let's have a play with some games, shall we? Before I finish this off, like this is just going to be a quick little video showing you how I've got the system set up at the moment. So let's go to games. And see, I've just got a few games on there. Some of these games are a little bit late for this system. Well, for when the system was new, the type of thing that have been installed, you know, a year or two after. Like we've got Lemmings there. I think did that come out in 1990. Prince of Persia, again the same. So they're right on the cusp of it, really. There's certainly the type of software and type of games that someone might have installed on this when it was a fairly new system. Let's have a look at Llama though. So CD LI AFA. Let's see if this will run. What do we need to type to get this to it? Select sound card. We don't have a sound card installed. Right, so let's try install. No, input not supported. Oh well, never mind, I think that's crashed the computer. Let's do another restart, shall we? This is one of the things when you're playing about with these old computers. Not everything you try works, and a lot of it ends up with you having to do a Control-Alt-Delete to get the computer back up and running. I think we can load Lemmings or something like that, so you can have a look at that running on this computer. But if you see, even loading DOS is actually quite quick. I'm sure it'll get a little bit slower when we upgrade to a later version of DOS, but it is still fairly fast at the moment. CD... Yeah, let's load Lemmings, because that takes advantage of the Amstrad mouse as well. Right, and we need VGA, like that, to load it. Right, one for a VGA game. Well, we've got VGA. I'll have this. One for PC compatibles, two for high performance PCs. Now, technically, when this came out, this was a high performance PC, really. You've got 3 for IBM PS2 machines, 4 for, interesting, like I said, Amstrad had their own selection on here. Now, I believe that's something to do with the video modes that Amstrad could do. I think they could do some, I think they were a bit like some of the IBM PC Junior type thing, where it could do extra colours, and I think that's what that's for on there. But let's do it for high performance PCs. See, this is a high performance PC. There we go. That's Lemmings that we all know, love and remember. So let's go F1. There we go. There's Lemmings up. We'll click the mouse. Now, this is what always disappointed me about Lemmings on the PC. Now, I was used to playing Lemmings on the Amiga, because I had an Amiga myself. I had a friend that had an ST, and I played Lemmings on his Atari ST, and I played Lemmings on the Acorn Archimedes at school, and every one of them had so much better graphics than this. I think the graphics on the PC version of Lemmings was really abysmal, to be honest. And obviously, if you didn't have a sound card in the computer as well, that's all you got. Just PC. That was basically your audio. If you was lucky enough to have like an ad-lib card in there, yeah, the audio wasn't actually too bad. It's just the graphics really let it down. Like I said, comparing it to like the graphics on the Amiga, the graphics, I mean, the ST wasn't brilliant, but it was I think the graphics were a little bit nicer and crisper than they were on the PC. And audio wise, unless you had the sound card in the PC, obviously, like I said, your Amiga, your ST and your Archimedes, the sound was amazing compared with this. Let's have one more quick game, and then we'll probably wrap this up, I think. In fact, we only need one. Let's splat some Lemmings. We'll save him, and we'll just let the others drop. So you don't even get the splat noise when the Lemmings fall to their death. It's kind of disappointing playing Lemmings on a PC that's got no sound card. Although I used to do it at college, actually. Believe it or not, I used to play Lemmings. I was a theatre student. All my background is in theatre and technical theatre and things like that. And where I was actually studying at college, doing my HND, I hacked the the lighting desk, sorry, in the control studio, because it was based on a PC inside, and I had it running Lemmings, and I don't think the teacher was too impressed with that, and said, take it off. I never did. It was always on there, and a few people had shown how to actually access it and run it. But yeah, I used to play Lemmings on a basically on an Avo Light lighting desk, which was always good fun. No, it wasn't an Avo Light, sorry, that was the one we had where I used to work. It was a Strand. It was a Strand lighting desk that was based on, I think, like a 386 PC inside it, and I used to run Lemmings on that. Anyway, let's get out of here and get back to DOS. That'll have a nice DOS. CD ... Let's get back to the games directory. I will have a play with Llama at a later date and see if I can get that to actually work. Caves is always good. Crystal Caves. This is one of the first games that I remember getting and playing on. I can't remember what computer I had this on. I think it was on my 286 when I was young. I did have a 286 for a short period until it got stolen. And I think I used to run Crystal Caves on that. So that's right. I think it's Caves again, isn't it? Yeah. Is it ID? Oh, it's Apogee. I know it's someone that is quite famous in the early computer games scene. We've got fantastic EJ graphics as well. Let's have a new game. But again, we were literally just stuck with the PC beeper. Although some of these games actually made reasonable use of it. This is really, really kind of the period of this computer, you know, graphics wise and everything. Right, there we go. Well, that's Crystal Caves. I don't know whether that is to do with the fact that the graphics card in this is pretty basic, the VGA card, or it's a artifact of the fact that we're running through a modern LCD screen. And one thing I have found is it's rather picky on what LCD monitor this actually wants to work on. I've tried it on a few and not had a whole amount of success actually. But basically we go into each level and so there's various... Oops. Oop. Hang on, yeah, I think it's probably something to do with this monitor actually more than anything else. I'm dead. Never mind. But yeah, that jumping, I'll have to find out whether that's to do with us using the modern LCD screen or right, quit Q, DOS, yes, or it's something to do with the rather crappy VGA card that Amstrad decided to use. I mean, it's very basic, the VGA card in these. It's got what, 256k of memory and as basically as you can get of a VGA card. Right, I think that's about it for playing stuff. Let's have one last look. Oh, we can look at Xenon, and this is the original Xenon. I was never a big fan of this. Xenon 2, I used to really enjoy playing Xenon 2, but Xenon I never really got into. I've got Xenon 2 actually somewhere. I've got to find that and get that so we can actually put it onto something like this. Well, we're stuck with EGA, so let's have EGA on there. No, I haven't got a joystick to use. I think we're on keys. But it does look pretty good, to be honest, for an EGA game. It runs nice and smooth on this computer. I can remember what the keys are to actually... That's impressive. Right, where's... There we go. was always very bad at this. Yeah, I'm dead. But you know, it shows it how it works. Right, and that's about it. So that's basically how we've got the computer set up at the moment. Like I say, it's kind of like it would have been when it was new, or within, you know, a year or two of it being bought, with the kind of software I've got on here. And people would have perhaps put a few games on it. It would have been a home computer rather than a dedicated office, or, as in this case, a computer used in a college. I'm not going to leave it like this though. This computer needs upgrades. What my plan is, I'm going to upgrade this computer in the next video, but I'm going to upgrade this computer like it was 1995, because basically that's when I got into starting to do PC upgrades and working on PCs. 94 and 95, when I was still at school. I mean, I've been messing with them for a couple of years, but that was the time where actually people started getting systems like this. 94 and 95. I think it were a case of there were a lot of businesses upgrading and going for the nice new 486s and Pentium, you know, 486 workstations, Pentium servers and stuff like that. A lot of companies were upgrading and they were selling off their old systems like this, you know, to people that work there cheap, and they were taking them home and they were giving them the kids for, here you go, here's a computer. And obviously kids, I think the intention was for them to do the schoolwork on and stuff. The first thing I used to get asked, my dad's given me a computer, can I play games on it? And it was usually something similar to this. Actually, more than likely they were 386s. I did get a few people that had 286s that had been given to them. A lot of them were 386s. In fact, a lot of them were ICL 386s, being that the ICL factory isn't that far away from where I live, and where I lived then. And I know quite a few people whose parents worked at ICL. So it's no surprise that I ended up at that time with quite a lot of like 386, SX20s, SX16s, ICL ones that people wanted upgrading a little bit. So I think that's what we're going to do in the next video. I'm going to upgrade this computer like it was, say, 94 and 95. And one of my school chums had come up to me and said, my dad's given me a PC he's got from work. Can I play games on it? What can I do? How can I upgrade it? And things like that. So I think that's what we're going to be doing in the next video on this. We're going to be upgrading this computer like I did back in the mid-90s. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there for now. It wasn't meant to be a long video or anything, this. It was just a case of I got it to the state where it's as close as I can get it at the moment to how the hard drive would have been, you know, early 90s, shall we say. And I thought I'd just take you through like loading Windows up and playing a few games on it and what have you. So I will say, I hope you enjoyed that little trip down memory lane. Thanks for watching and goodbye.